Hi there, welcome to Stellar and what's next for its price. Before getting to the details about this weekly chart that we are looking at on the screen and all these blue distribution cycle tags and orange accumulation cycle tags tentative for Stellar, these sessions are not financial advice, they are for education research purpose only. So 3 consecutive weeks of red candles. I've put these orange tags over here. It's more like a wild guess. Let's put it this way, they're tentative. Not that they are likely the case, because this is still a bit far from the range we've seen between 2022 April all the way to October last year. So the accumulation cycle for Stellar was very long. It took it's actually 2 years, over 2 years, almost 3 years. Let's look at this. Let's draw a line to be exact. Yeah, 2.5 roughly, not 3 years yet. So this short distribution cycle coming down so fiercely, you would say, oh, it's like it has broken the downward trend, the lower peaks, right? Lower high over here, and then it kind of looked like it broke out. If you're not looking at Wyckoff, then obviously it looks like, oh, it's going to get to a higher price again, some people would have thought. However, if you're following like Wyckoff method, and obviously we can see over here, this has come down from this sort of something that looks like an upward trend again in just a matter of 2 weeks. The fortunate thing I would say is the volume has come down. Seems like people are not trying to sell much more at this moment in time. Not that they're not going to sell if there are something big coming out to the market. May it be the wars that are happening or the G7 that's coming. Any bigger news can be taken as a reason to trigger these kind of either price surge or price drop. It all depends on how the big players, the whales, are trying to or which direction they're trying to push the price. So if the blue tags holds true, we haven't yet seen the selling climax yet. But given the volume, it looks like arguably the toughest had happened, at least for this moment if we look at it, somewhere around March time. But let's not be sure for now, because if we look at here, Stellar does have a history of like lingering longer at a higher position before it comes down all the way. It's not like one-time sharp drop kind of thing if we look at this distribution cycle. So it's still possible for it to linger along the yellow line around 20 cents to the white line over here around 27 cents before it comes down below the yellow line to test how deep it would drop, whether it's touching the bottom of the white box or it's going to just slightly go to like the middle of the yellow and the white. So that's where the picture is now. If we look at the daily chart, it's still within this blue downward trend that I've drawn a while ago, multiple sessions before probably. Even this large green volume bar over here wasn't able to help it to break outside of this blue downward trend. And it's now, after yesterday red cross, even though today started off as a little bit of green, it seems like it's going to come down to test the yellow line and maybe hover horizontally for a little before it tests the bottom of the blue, or regain strength to test the top of the blue blocks. I did mention in previous session that one interesting thing would be if it does come below the top line of the white box, the long-term playground zone. It will be interesting to see whether it will be bound by this widening gap between this blue center line and the white line over here. Obviously, I've talked about the yellow and the white. If today and tomorrow is going to close below this blue line over here, obviously then we'll have to look at this 20 cents, 22 cents level roughly. So that's pretty much it for Stellar. I'll move on to sweet coin next. See you then.